Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to teach you 6th standard geography lesson 4, that is agriculture ICSE syllabus. So here the word agriculture is derived from the two Latin words, that is ager meaning field and cultura meaning a cultivate. So hence agriculture refers to the cultivation of the field. So here when we talk about the agriculture, agriculture includes a range of activities like growing different types of the crops, rearing animals for the dairy and meat, even poultry farming and even rearing fish in the ponds. So all these are considered as a agriculture. So agriculture has been practiced for thousands of years by humankind, and even to this day it remains an important occupation for most of the people around the world. In most countries in Asia and Africa, more than 50% of the people are employed in the agricultural sector. Like food grains are the most important products that come from the agriculture. So this is there are many different types of the agriculture practiced around the world. So before doing practicing the agriculture, there is some factors influencing for the agriculture, which is the very important factors we want. So here agriculture refers to the practice of the cultivating crops and rearing the animals like cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, horses, camels, chickens and ducks and many more. So here it's a needed factors is very important for the agriculture. The first one is arable land. The land on which crops can be grown is called as a arable land. The lowlands such as plains, river basins and deltas are suitable for the growing crops. Obviously, if the land is perfect for the growing crops, it will grow properly. And the second one is fertile soil. Even fertile soil also very required. Soil will support the plants and provide the nutrition and moisture to them that they can grow properly. And so fertile soil is necessary for the growing crops. Why fertile soil is very necessary? Because if we don't have a fertile soil, we should add more fertilizers for them. So third one is favorable climatic conditions. Yes, absolutely, we want to grow the crops and all, we need favorable climate conditions like rainfall, moisture and temperature is very important. For that are the important factors that influence further to grow the crops that can be in particular areas. So other along with this, there are other factor also include like availability of the labor, manure and fertilizers. Good quality seeds also matters, and irrigation facilities also very much required. And even some crops need a like a machinery and transportation also very important for the uh, agriculture. Okay, so all these are very important factors for the agriculture. So coming to this, there are so many types of the practices in agriculture. So first one is substance farming. So what do you mean by substance farming? So here the substance farming is a practiced by the farmers who own small piece of land. That means such farmers grow just enough crops to meet their needs, that is basic needs and those of their families. So they generally grow rice and vegetables and use organic or a natural fertilizers such as cow dung, animal droppings and dead and dried plants. So these kind of the um, fertilizers they use to uh, utilize for the growing crops. They depend on the monsoon rains for the water for the crops. So this is called as a substance farming. So the main features of this types of substance farming are following. Which are those? The flats are very small and scattered. You can see in this picture very small flats. The farmers use traditional tools. You can see the person is using the plough, so which is the traditional tool. So here they are not using the tractors and machinery and all. It depends upon rainfall and natural fertility of the soil and environmental conditions. So you can see only when monsoon time rain falls, that time only they are utilizing this time for the growing crops. So this is called as a some substance farming. These are the few features in this farming. And in this substance farming only, mainly we see two types. So in this substance farm only is mainly divided as a two types. One is intensive substance farming and one is shifting farming. So the first one is intensive subsistence farming. So what do you mean by intensive subsistence farming? So this is the system of farming under which small farms are cultivated by the large number of people. So that means intensive farming is practiced on small flats of the land. The farmers tries to get the maximum yield from small land by using crossbreed of the hybrid seeds. So in this kind of the intensive farming, the farmers they are using the hybrid seeds and plenty of fertilizers and pesticides. Like pesticides are nothing but like chemicals that kill the insects. This type of agriculture is very expensive because the farmers has to buy all the things, these things like for example fertilizers, pesticides, hybrid seeds and all they have to buy because these are very expensive. Farmer has to buy all these things including the high yielding seeds also, because when they buy the high yielding seeds the crop will be giving more uh, products, okay, more what we say, it's a kind of more production we will get. Moreover, he has to employ plenty of labor to help him, like rice, wheat, cotton and sugarcane are some of the major crops grown in the such farms. Okay, so the yield per acre is high as night soil, animal manure and household waste are used to keep the yield of crops high. So sometimes what they'll do, they want to keep the yield very high, the crop high. So sometimes they are using this kind of the what we said, some manure and all. Sometimes 2 or 3 crops are grown under these small farms with the help of the irrigation. It's called as a double cropping. For example, you can take in one for example rice they are growing, inside only they will raise the fish also, like that. So here the main features of intensive farming are following: the small farmers are cultivated using the simple tools and abundant labor. More than one crop is cultivated annually on the same field, and manure, fertilizers and good quality seeds and irrigation facilities are also used in this type of farming. And the main crops are grown in this type of farming are rice, wheat, maize and pulses and oil seeds. So along this is called as a double cropping, or else we'll call as a multiple cropping also, and crop rotation. So these three names we can call this intensive farming. Okay, so are some of the methods used in this method of the cultivation. That's why it is called as a intensive agriculture. So the fertility of the soil is maintained by the using crop rotation method and even irrigation also. Although they are using chemical fertilizers. Why they are using chemical fertilizers? Because they have to give the high yields for the crop. So they will harm the productivity of the soil in the long run. That is one of the demerits. So coming to the shifting cultivation. So here we discussed about the one intensive substance farming. Now coming to the shifting farming. So here the shifting cultivation is practiced even today mainly in the tribal people in some primitive and densely forested areas. Okay, some forested regions of the world we can say. So this type of the traditional agriculture is also known as a slash and burn agriculture. That means what they will do, they will cut the trees and they will burn that one and they will do the agriculture. So monsoon rains and the ash produced by the burning vegetation increases the fertility of the soil, which helps crops grow fast. The farmers clear a small patch of land by cutting down trees and bushes and burning the stumps and branches before they start planting. So this is called as a slash and burn agriculture. So what they will do after doing this activity, they do not use any tools except large knives called machetes. So with which they slash the natural vegetation of the area where they intend to stay. So then what they will do, they scatter the seeds on the fertile ground and leaves them to grow. You can see this area, they cut at the some patch of land. Okay, a patch of land is cleared, trees are filled and stumps are set on the fire. The ashes are also mixed with the soil, and crops like maize, the which kind of crops they will grow, like a kind of maize, yam, potatoes and cassava are grown in this kind of areas. Like sometime they'll also grow the bananas and topicals, the fruit, and even rice also they can grow. So this okay, this kind of the what we say kind of shifting cultivation is practiced in areas such as like when we talk about area wise, Amazon basin, Zaira basin, Indonesia and Malaysia and other forest areas within the tropics in India. This practice is prevalent in states such as Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram. So this kind of the areas we can see this kind cultivation, like a shifting cultivation. So even some northeast areas of India, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand also we can find the shifting cultivation. Even it is also practiced in the Andaman Nicobar Islands also. Okay, so shifting cultivation is known by different names in the different parts of the world. It is known as a Jhuming in India, Lading in Indonesia, Chena in Sri Lanka, Roca in Brazil, and Milpa in Central America. So that means a different part of a world, they will call different names. Clear with this? And we are going to extensive farming. So this is the system of farming in which small number of the people work a large farm. So this is considered as a extensive farming. So coming class I am going to discuss about the extensive farming. Till now you can learn this one. I hope you enjoyed this class. Thank you. See you again.